This video is sponsored by Envato Elements.
Today I will show you how I created this really cool elf archer photo manipulation out of several different stock images. It's pretty easy, so let's start. Okay, I started this photo manipulation basically like any other photo manipulation by finding proper images for my idea. Obviously before that you need to get the idea. I have a video about that so you can check it out. But after I got the initial idea, I searched for the images and this one was really cool. I got it from Envato Elements, and also there is really boring and tedious process that you need to do after you find some images is to extract the model out of the background. So as you can see, I did it here. Then I just place the model on the background that I choose and try to find the proper scale of the model compared to the background. Also, the upper part of the background of the forest was too bright, so I made a copy of the background, flip it out, put it in multiple blending mode, and got really cool, a darker and more moody version of the forest. With the layer mask, I made that upper right part a little bit brighter. Then I went to Envato Elements to find the proper plants that I want to place in the front of the model to make the impression that the model is actually in the forest right there. So I have something as the first plan, then the model, like a middle plan, and the back plan of the forest. And also it's much easier just to place some plants that are similar to the forest plants in the front of the model than to make a mask of the model with the existing plants. Also I made the plants a little bit darker and a little bit out of focus to match the overall composition. The second step is to match the color of the model with the color of the forest. So for that I use several tools. First I try with the color balance adjustment layer, then I use selective color adjustment layer, which work better in this case. So there are always several ways how you can match the colors of the model and the background. I have so many tutorials on that topic, so you can check them out on my channel here. Also I use one of really cool techniques that I like to help me match these colors even better. I have a full tutorial on this technique, so you can check it out. The next step is to match the brightness of the model with the brightness of the background. So for that I turn the whole scene into black and white using black and white adjustment layer, just because I don't want to look at the colors. I'm just interested in luminosity values of the model. Using exposure and curves adjustment layer, I'm turning the model into a different lighting scenario, as you can see right here, adding a rim light and dodging and burning model overall to match the background a little bit better. After that I used another photo to extract this arm shield or arm protector. I don't know what is the real expression for it, but I use it as an extra detail for the model. I really like it. Transform it, warp it and paint it to match the overall scene. And also after that I want more details, so I use this oval just as a detail back in the background, cut it out, extract it out of the background and place it in the forest. Also the oval and bunch of other elements are from Envato Elements. And now is the perfect time to tell you that this episode is sponsored by Envato Elements. In case you didn't know, Envato Elements is an amazing website where you can find practically all the assets that you need for any project you're creating. They have millions of stock photos, stock videos, audio files, sound effects. They have amazing library of 3D models, and that's my favorite part because you can use 3D model and rotate, position them however you want and use it in your photo manipulation in a proper orientation and proper angle. They have a lot of After Effects, Premiere Pro, Final Cut, DaVinci Resolve, templates like intros, outros, really cool transitions, some really cool effects, also a bunch of different cool fonts and much more. And all of that for just $16.5 per month if you go with the annual subscription. Another really cool thing is that all the assets on Envato Elements are licensed, so you don't need to worry about that at all. You just need to use them in any personal or commercial project. If you want to sign up for Envato Elements, check out the link down there in the description and enjoy the millions of assets there. Now let's go back to video. In this moment of time, I wanted to play a little bit more with the overall lighting condition of the scene, so I paint these light rays manually using a brush tool and white color, blur them a little bit and also added a little bit of a yellow tint and remove that light rays from the certain parts of the forest elements using a mask tool. Also, I made certain parts a little bit darker just to add more drama and more contrast to the scene overall. Now I wanted to add those magic trails to the magic arrows, so I used the same technique that I use in several of my episodes, and I have a dedicated tutorial on how to create these magic trails. It's an amazing technique, so you can check it out on the link in the corner. And here you can see me just playing around with the shapes and the brightness of it. After I finished with adding those goldish details on the model, I went back to Envato Elements, downloaded this skeleton and placed it here in the forest like an extra detail, and obviously I needed to match the brightness and the color of the skeleton to the overall scene. I paint the light manually, as you can see, and also yes, I have a tutorial on how to do that and different techniques, so you can check that out on my channel too. And the next idea is to cover the skeleton with some leaves, so I did it the same thing like I did with the model. Download some similar leaves that are already existing in the forest, similar plants basically, and just change the color, brightness and match overall scene and place it over the top of the skeleton. It's much easier and less time consuming than just painting and masking the existing leaves in order to cover the skeleton. So this is a really cool way to do it. All the techniques that I'm showing in this video are already covered them in a lot of my previous photo manipulations, so if you're first time watching my channel, this video, and you're confused actually how I'm doing certain things, go back and watch my previous photo manipulation tutorials and you will learn a lot. This is more like a speed art breakdown tutorial, it's not like a step-by-step tutorial. Here I'm using another roots from some plants to add, like there are some branches in the skeleton, mask them out, and got that. Also play a little bit with more details here, adding more leaves, more plants over the top of the skeleton just to cover it a little bit more. So here I'm just finalizing the scene, adding a little bit more details, some leaves, some magic particles with a custom brush. I also have a video how to create the custom brush for these magic particles. It's one of my earlier videos. You can just Google out the search for the magic particles on my channel and you will find it out. Also, I added a little bit more dirt to the model's arm, just a little bit. I play with that and ended up moving it towards the shoulder part and just leave it there. And now it's just a matter of tweaking a little bit more of magic trails. As you can see right here, I wanted to add a little bit more of that, so here it is. After several hours and so many layers, I finally merged everything into one layer, went to camera to do a color grading. Yes, I would add a lot of more elements here if I had the time for it, but this is it for this photo manipulation, and here is my final result. I really hope that you like this final result, and what is even more important, I really hope that you got inspired out of this episode to create something really cool in your own, and also that you pick up some really cool ideas, tips and tricks from this one to be able to use it in your own projects. If that's the case, If you like this episode, press that like button down below, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe in case you're not already, and ring that bell to get notified about all the future episodes. See you next week, same time. Bye bye.